Good evening. Recent violence in the Sunrise community on our city's east side has revived the negative nickname Gunrise.
In just a matter of 2 weeks, 3 random shootings, 2 on Coral Sunrise, 1 on Mystic Sunrise, leaving 2 people dead and others hurt. Tonight, police are ramping up patrols in the area.
Eyewitness News reporter Henry Ramos spoke to longtime residents, and he joins us now. And Henry, what do residents themselves think about that nickname?
And Jeff and Deborah, when you ask Sunrise residents what their neighborhood nickname is, they'll tell you Gunrise. But the people I spoke with tonight don't stand by that name or the violence that they say right now is really bad. On a good day, you'll find Marilyn working on her yard.
Home. It's home to me.
She's called the Sunrise neighborhood home for 25 years.
Because I had a choice after my sister had passed to move or sell, but I love where I live.
But the neighborhood she adores also seems like a place filled with hate.
You either hear gunshots and you think, well, maybe is that a firework or is it a firework? Then shortly after that, you can hear the helicopters circling around and around and around and around.
And recently, she's been hearing a lot of both.
Within the last month, a month and a half, we have seen an increase in crime.
It's picked up.
It has picked up.
Earlier this month on Coral Sunrise, a mother was killed in a drive-by shooting. Police say her son was the target. The accused gunman was arrested. And last week on the same street, a man was critically injured after being shot several times. And in the same week, another shooting on Mystic Sunrise. A man was killed and 2 others were seriously hurt.
And the ones that are here, we don't necessarily appreciate being labeled that as Gunrise. We do see a lot of, beside the negatives, we do see a lot of positive.
And according to online records, the 2 major crimes on Coral and Mystic Streets are burglary and theft. Live in the city's northwest side, Henry Ramos, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.